Hello everyone and welcome to the Redmen TV. I'm Ste and it is team news reaction time ahead of Liverpool versus Arsenal. No messing about, let's have a look at the team that Jurgen Klopp's picked and get some reaction to it, as the name of the show says. No surprises, the main man's in goal, Alisson. Trent, Matip, Van Dijk, as we probably expected. Perhaps Konate might have slotted in alongside Virgil, given how things went against West Ham. But no, we've stuck with those three. Andy Robertson's injured, not included in the matchday squad at all, as we thought might happen. Picked up an injury playing for Scotland, which means Ste THIAGO gets the start at left back. To be honest, if we were picking the team on form, regardless of Robertson's health anyway, THIAGO probably would have been in it. I think that's fair to say, but there was no decision to make. Andy Robertson's out, so Kostas plays. Centre midfield then, again, kind of pretty much left with what's left, given the injuries that Liverpool have got in this area of the pitch. So Fabinho starts at defensive midfielder, had a really good international break, hopefully comes into this one bouncing and good form. He might be needed, given how well Arsenal have been playing in recent weeks. We've got Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and a first start in quite a while for Thiago Alcantara. Jordan Henderson, as you can see, is on the bench, not fit enough to start, I think it looks like. But yeah, so Liverpool have gone for a midfield three of Fab, Thiago and Oxlade-Chamberlain against his old team. It's nice to see Thiago back starting games. Fingers crossed he's better than his sub-appearance at West Ham, because he wasn't the best there. And then up front, the front three is the front three that we all knew it was going to be. Bobby Firmino's out with his injury, he's going to be out for a while. So it's Sadio Mane, Diogo Jota and Mo Salah. Let's have a look at the bench then. A very youthful looking Liverpool bench. That side in particular is a very young bench. It's Liverpool's preschool bench, as I named it on my tweet earlier. But anyway, in goal, sub-goalie rather, is Kevin Kelleher. We've got Konate, there's the captain Jordan Henderson, Taki Minamino and Nat Phillips. And then a very youthful looking second half of the bench. Kader Gordon, Tyler Morton, Connor Bradley and Owen Beck. Like I say, four of Liverpool's subs there are pretty much young kids. In terms of like attacking options off the bench, if we need them later, Taki Minamino is obviously the first one. And then we are relying on young Kader Gordon as well, given the fact that so many injuries, no Firmino, etc. Divock Origi picked up an injury playing for Belgium. We were told that it wasn't a big issue and he was fine. Well, obviously not. He's not on the bench. No Neco Williams, he's not there. No Robertson. So added to the massive injury list that we already knew, the international break has not been kind to us at all. Like I say, Robertson, Williams and Origi all missing, as well as Milner, Keita, Jones, Firmino. The list is absolutely endless. So yeah, Liverpool's team, like I say, the 11 itself is more than I think good enough to beat Arsenal. The strength in depth and the options that we've got off the bench, especially in an attacking term, is a slight worry. Like I say, Taki Minamino is essentially first sub in terms of an attacker. And then other than that, we are going to be relying on the youngsters. And even then, you know, it's Connor Bradley and Owen Becker play fullback this season. Tyler Morton is essentially a centre midfielder in a more defensive role. So it really is Kader Gordon if Liverpool do need to make another attacking option. Like I say, who knows, he might get his chance today and he might blow our socks off and score a goal. But Errol, I'll come over to you now, mate. I'm happy with the 11, but the bench is a little bit worrying. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I think the 11 is pretty much what most people would have been expecting, given the options that are available to Klopp at the minute. I'm kind of titling this one the Battle of Africa or the Battle of Wakanda, in terms of we've got Salah and we've got Mane versus Aubameyang and potentially Partey. So they're going to be some interesting battles across the 90 minutes for us today, and ones to kind of sit and watch really to see who kind of outperforms who. But just again, looking at that bench, there's a lot of inexperience there. It's a big game. I'm looking at the likes of the Ox for me in this game. Now, obviously, we all know he came from Arsenal, but a chance to go and kind of do a number on his ex, essentially, would be really nice. We've got some of the comments in YouTube as well. A few people are feeling a Jota hat-trick, which would be lovely if he just fills in Firmino's boots there and just fills his boots with a hat-trick. That'd be fantastic. Someone else has gone for my score prediction, which was a 3-1 to Liverpool. Another struggling midfield till Hendo joins. It's not good enough. I predict BT BTTS, I don't know what that is.
Both teams to score.
Oh, both teams to score. Ah, so he's a gambler, that guy, yeah. Day ones only, okay. Both teams to score, yeah, I'd probably go for that as well. I didn't think we'd probably keep a clean sheet. But yeah, Tsimikas is probably rightfully, getting that chance now. And I think that's probably the one reassurance that we've got, even though, unfortunately, Robertson's not able to make it due to fitness. It's the fact that we've got a capable understudy there that we kind of know what kind of quality he brings down that left-hand side.
It's nice to see Thiago's first start for a long, long while. We've seen him in cameo appearances. He's gone off the bench a couple of times. But, I mean, by hook or by crook, whether he had to start because there's literally nobody else available. So hopefully he's had another couple of weeks off. He didn't go away with Spain and stuff. So him and Ox, at least, one thing to say, Errol, is that they've been here for 2 weeks.
Okay.
So, they haven't been away. They've been around the training. We know the manager likes to pick players who've been around if he can. Again, we don't really 100% know the issue, how fit Jordan Henderson is, but obviously there is something there. But at least those two have been here for a long time. And I say it's a big game for Thiago.
Yeah, absolutely. And chances are, between them four, I know you just mentioned Jordan Henderson there, but between them four, you can expect them all to go again on Wednesday as well. So, that's going to be in the back of Klopp's mind as well. I know we've kind of got a free hit, but I know obviously all the financial things starts to come into it, and Klopp will want his team to get a little bit of momentum again, and all those things will come into play. But in terms of obviously being able to rest players, we're probably not going to have that luxury. So we are probably going to be able to, we're probably asking the lads, right, get a good performance today, start to set that level again, and then we're going to have to go again next week, but we need to wrap these up in cotton wool for a couple of days.
I mentioned earlier about Divock Origi and his issues and stuff. Liverpool have tweeted out that Divock Origi misses out through illness. Don't know what type of illness. What I would say, and hopefully I'm not putting 2 and 2 together, is that Kevin De Bruyne did test positive after being with Belgium. Hopefully that's not the case with Divock. Hopefully it isn't something that Liverpool haven't announced the full details of it, but maybe that's just me putting 2 and 2 together and seeing.
Normally come out with COVID now as well.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, they might.
Blanket statement.
Yeah, maybe he is just genuinely. Fingers crossed, it's not too bad. I'm going to have a little look at the Arsenal 11 then. So the Gunners, like I say, their team, they've got Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, White, Gabriel and Tavares, the normal back four. You mentioned Thomas Partey there. He is in, alongside Sambi Lokonga. And then they've got the Smith Rowe, Saka, Aubameyang 3, and then Lacazette. So, well, it's the way around, isn't it? I imagine Lacazette's been playing more of a 10 recently, but it looks very much 4-2-3-1. It's pretty much the Arsenal team we may have expected. And then their bench is Leno, Cedric, Holding, Tierney, Maitland-Niles, Elneny, Odegaard, Pepe, Martinelli. So what they've got is a much stronger, experienced bench. I mean, although Martinelli and Odegaard are young lads, they're experienced Premier League players.
Been relied on heavily over the last couple of years.
Yeah, whereas obviously our bench is literally just children. I suppose that's the worry there, isn't it? All that the 11s, I'd back us. I think we've got the strongest starting 11, but when you look at strength and depth, and if something is needed off the bench, Martinelli, Pepe, Maitland-Niles, who scored, I know Maitland-Niles scored at Anfield not that long ago, Odegaard, young superstar kids, like they've got
Pepe,
Nicholas Pepe, their bench
70 mil on the bench just sat there. I think that's probably the cost of all of our bench almost. Don't know how much you'd put on Jordan Henderson's price, but that being said, I think that kind of speaks volumes of where the two benches are at today.
Yeah, for sure, mate, for sure. But like I say, let's look at the Liverpool 11. I'm going back to it. So again, Alisson, Trent, Matip, Van Dijk, Tsimikas, Fab, Thiago, Ox, Mane, Salah, Jota. It's pretty much what we thought it was going to be. I think everyone who was predicting the team, when we knew about the injury news, we could all get, there's no major shocks. Like I say, the shocks are that like Neco Williams isn't there and Divock isn't there on the bench, so that's what's taking the hit. But in terms of a Liverpool 11, it's not horrendous. Like I say, it's not too bad. There's enough match winners on that pitch for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think based on, especially if you look at the front three, Jota's form so far this season, I know Firmino's had good patches, but it'd be a coin toss almost for who you'd slot in there down the middle, either Jota or Firmino in a game like this. I know Firmino's got previous against Arsenal, so you might favour him. He seems to like this fixture. But what I'm interested in seeing is Salah versus that... it might be Tomiyasu or who's the other guy that they've got at their left back at the moment. Who did Tavares, yeah. So again, they're both new. They haven't come up against the Salah threat yet. So whichever he deploys down that side to kind of stop Salah, that'll be interesting. But again, I'm hoping the lads just come back with a bit of grit and a bit of determination. We was on the road before the international break. We didn't get the result that we wanted, but being back in front of our home crowd and kind of having that that reassurance of the Anfield crowd wrapping their arms around you saying, come on boys, let's go again. Hopefully that kind of gives us the extra edge where the bench might not, if that makes sense.
Well, hopefully the 11's pretty much got to win it, hasn't it? That's where we're at. If we're looking at the bench for goals, there's not many on there. It's tacky, and it's Cader Gordon.
And if we have to turn to the bench because the game's not going our way,
it's not ideal.
It's not an ideal situation to be in, is it?
And I'm just looking, James Pearce just tweeted here, and as expected, Tsimikas comes in for Robertson, Henderson is only fit enough for bench duty, so it looks like, again, it's what we expected. Yeah. It wasn't a selection thing. It purely come down to match fitness, which, again, we kind of knew. That Henderson was having an issue with England, and he got sent home. In terms of where we're at with the injuries, Errol, it's ridiculous. Last year, it bit us in terms of the centre-halves. This year, it's really got us in the midfield. What I would say is that Liverpool have got 4 or 5 options not available, and that is still a pretty good 11 that we've got out in a good midfield 3. What do you think the balance is like there between your Fabinho, your Thiago and your Oxlade-Chamberlain? Because if anything, I think it looks a little bit better balanced because you can ask Thiago to be a little bit more deeper if you need him to. Obviously, he loves going forward and attacking, but I felt when it was like Ox and Jones with a holding midfielder, it was probably too offensive. The balance looks a little bit better. I mean, regardless of individual performances, because I'll be honest, Ox and Thiago have been very hit and miss this season when they've played, again, for a variety of reasons, but the balance looks better, I think, if nothing else.
On paper, you could probably argue that. In terms of the performance, I'm going to reserve judgment purely just because it's untested. These lads haven't been this 3 in this little cog in this system on many occasions, and especially when it comes to start, they've probably not started together. And I think for me, where the biggest telltale sign that there's may as well call it a crisis in midfield because we are really depleted in numbers is the fact that for most of pre-season, Klopp was happy to deploy the Ox as Firmino's kind of understudy. Now, I think the fact that we're so light on numbers means that he's had to redraft the Ox back into midfield. I think that's forced his hand because if we'd have had the likes of Keita fit, Milner fit, Jones fit, and Henderson fit,
and Harvey Elliott
as well, the Ox probably doesn't get into our midfield anymore, but he would then supplement the front 3 in a position, which means that if he doesn't get a start today, he's another one that's on the bench that we can bring on to add that extra bit of firepower and that experience. So that to me is probably the biggest sign of where our midfield deficiencies are at the moment, the fact that we're having to utilise the Ox back in midfield. Now for him, if that's his preferred position and that's where he wants to play, and he wants to kind of claim that spot, he's not going to get many more better chances than this.
You know, it's weird because we've sat here for a few weeks now and he started a lot of footy.
Yeah.
Like, everyone keeps saying if Ox wants a chance, and it's right to say it. He's had a lot of games. He's probably played more games than those. You know what I mean? Like, he's played way more than Thiago.
And Fabinho recently as well.
He started a lot of football matches recently. He's been involved. He's either been starting games, which he started plenty, or he's been on the bench. And I think it's fair to say he's underwhelmed. And I keep thinking, it might be last chance saloon for Ox, it might be last chance saloon, but it can't be last chance saloon because he has to keep playing. Like, I heard stories the other day.
Do you like that though? Do you feel like sometimes a manager you have to just play yourself into form? Like, you put your back's against the wall ultimately, do you know what I mean? You've got to play yourself into form almost.
There were stories like, could Liverpool let him go on loan? Or, like, he's not going nowhere in January. We've got no midfielders left. We need him. Although the others are getting back to fitness, they're not there yet. What I would say is that we've seen him score goals against Arsenal. I remember him scoring in the League Cup against them and stuff like that. There's enough. I think there's a goal threat in. And what I would say is that Arsenal, we're more 4-3-3. They're very much going to be more 4-2-3-1. Yeah. So there's a battle to be won there, and that's why I want to talk to before we sign off about our fullbacks. I think Arsenal's best 2 players currently this season have been Smith Rowe and Saka.
Okay. Yeah.
2 wide, but they play wide with that 3. So it's Saka and Smith Rowe. But they have Lacazette and Aubameyang floating in the middle. Like, we've got now, you know, we keep saying Tsimikas deserves his chances, and he does deserve his chance. But like, what I think is we've seen a lot of Tsimikas going forward. He's been excellent. His delivery, unbelievable. He's going to have a big test against them in defensively. Now he hasn't really been tested. Yeah. And then on the other side, Trent, and like I say, teams always think they can get him, and good luck if they want to have a go at it. But that's the thing for Tsimikas here, isn't it? Like, we know attacking wise, there's no question mark, because now we're going to see him against a very good, whatever side Saka and Smith Rowe decide to go on, he's going to be up against a very good player.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you there, and I almost think, I don't want to understate it, but their fullbacks as well have kind of give them a new lease of life. I think they've given them a little bit more stability. Because they're more defensively solid than the ones they've had in previous seasons. 100%. So that enables the likes of Smith Rowe and Saka to just kind of then focus on their attacking options and driving forward with the ball. I think we all know, I think if there was options there for us to take Saka, we'd bite Arsenal's hand off for him right now. He looks like a really exciting prospect.
He really does.
And he looks like he is going to make the grade for many years to come. And I really enjoy watching him play. I think there's another big question mark as well today about the likes of Ramsdale. He's been in games and saved Arsenal a couple of times this season, but it's been against teams that you would on paper expect traditionally Arsenal to bet at anyway across the course of 90 minutes. So how much pressure can we put him under, and will he have a good game at Anfield, or will we put him on the sword? That's, we've seen him play pretty well at Anfield before, if I remember correctly as well, and he got a little bit unlucky with the ball that bobbles underneath him and stuff like that. So there's opportunities there to kind of put him under pressure, and I think in the best scenario for us, I know we said that in the West Ham game as well. I think I said it with Ross, getting an early goal, and it didn't happen. But today, getting an early goal with this 11 and just setting that tempo would be, the best foot forward.
Definitely don't be relying on the bench. Just to clarify, by the way, we mentioned Neco Williams before. Again, I've gone to James Pearce of The Athletic, and he's rotated. Obviously, Divock Origi's ill, and Neco Williams is out due to muscle tightness, and is expected to be back for midweek. What I would say there on Neco Williams, he's not here now. I had loads to speak about him for. I can't really do it, but what I was going to say is, he was almost another attacking option because he's been playing an attacking role for Wales. Yeah. It might have been that he might have been that option again. He's gone now. So before we finish, let's talk about the bench and the kids on it then. So Caden Gordon, Tyler Morton, Connor Bradley, Owen Beck. So Beck and Bradley can both play fair forward, but essentially when we've seen them, they've predominantly been full-backs. Okay, Tyler Morton's a centre mid. Yeah. I'd be surprised again if Tyler Morton gets on. I'd be shocked. Like, it must mean Henderson must be nowhere near. But there's a very good chance at some point we could see Caden Gordon on the pitch as a second, an auxiliary attacker. Klopp tends to want to change two if he can. Who knows? Like, it's again, we've seen stars born in strange places. It could be the came
at a weird point in time for us, and then obviously look how he went on and his journey. So, stranger things have happened, you could say. Again, it's a great day for them, lads, in terms of just the overall experience, getting it this young and being involved in a Premier League match day fixture when they would probably only be anticipating getting in and around the League Cup squads. This puts them in good stead as well for midweek. I know because it's another home game as well, there's no real travel involved or anything like that. So again, it gives them more European experience in days to come. So it's more the tasters of what's to come for them in their Liverpool career as they're cutting their teeth. So you might not expect to see them on the pitch today, but Klopp being able to turn over the shoulder and see that their application in terms of how they deal with the whole day, it doesn't overwhelm them, all that kind of stuff, it'll serve him well when he needs to then actually call on one of these young lads. So it's too early to say what they're going to be able to bring to our starting 11, and I wouldn't dream of putting any great deal of pressure on these young lads. I'd expect that 11, as you said earlier, to be good enough to do the job for us.
Like I say, you're preempting subs. Like, I always think you can preempt Liverpool subs, and it just looks like Taki's getting on at some point. If Henderson's fit enough at some point,
I'd be made up to see Taki get on at some point as well.
Taki's getting on at some point. We can assure it looks like Hendo's getting on, and then the rest of it is literally if there's an injury or there's a fitness worry because there's not much. Obviously, we're not going to really. I can't imagine we want to bring a centre half on for any point of view, but it is the rest of it looks like injury cover rather than game changing options, which Arsenal have got. Right then, that'll be us now. We'll sign off for a few minutes. Like I said, we're aware there's other games going on, and we're very much aware of some of the hilarity that is happening in other parts of the league. But we'll be back with a live watch along for Liverpool versus Arsenal. Kickoff is at 5:30. But we and Errol will be live at 5:15. So what we'll do there, we'll spend 5 or 10 minutes just looking at the other results from today. Obviously, we know already Chelsea won. Most of the other games, as I'm looking here, are still in injury time. So we don't want to talk about it too much now and jinx it. So what we'll do, go and give us what is it, 25 minutes or so. We'll go and get ready, get yourselves a drink, come back at 15:15. And hopefully, we're very much still laughing at Man United. It looks like we will be. There's a few other results that are going Liverpool's way as well. And then obviously, we'll be here live, uninterrupted throughout the whole game, bringing you completely biased commentary. Then, after the game as well, we'll be here with our player ratings. We've got your reactions. We'll have the final whistle show, obviously, straight after watch along. And then over on Redmen Plus will be our instant match reaction. You've got, looking at my calendar on my watch, 10 days left to use the free offer code. So please, as we sign off now, go over to redmentv.com, subscribe to Redmen Plus as a club captain, use the promo code Redmen Plus. It's all one word in capital letters. I'm laughing because Watford, it looks like I've scored again. It's Redmen Plus in capitals. Sign up and you will get a free month, and then you'll be able to watch the instant match reaction to the show. And then the final word on Monday, go back and watch the entire back catalogue of everything we've ever made, and then you'll be with us for another month as well for completely free. So Errol, thanks very much. Let's go get a nice drink, have a little sit down, and we'll be back at 5:15 with you guys. Until then, we'll see you all soon. Ta-da.
Thank you for watching. If you want more from Redmen TV, join Redmen Plus now. You will get exclusive documentaries, interviews, and more pre- and post-match content around Liverpool Football Club. If you are a Club Legend subscriber, you'll also get a host of perks, as well as getting your name in the credits right next to me here. Content is available in video and podcast form, so if you want more Liverpool on the go, join Redmen Plus now.